Hello, Mugician players. Man, am I getting beaten up from my latest experiments. Because you have to put your stuff on the store for very many people to see it, sometimes you just gotta put something on the store you're just not sure. And I've been told that my stuff sucks by a couple of people. That's alright. I'm still working on it. But I was told the previous version was really, really awesome. So, you know, whatever. This is my instrument. Okay. Some of what's going on may be confusion. My 5-year-old daughter just asked me the other day why it seemed like every day a new button gets put on this. I told her it's because Dad talks to people. And when Dad talks to people, there's always a new feature that needs to be added. So, I need to start thinking about subtracting some things, or repurposing things. But the latest feature in Mugician, which you need if you're actually going to be on stage with it, is a preset functionality. And that's something I put in. Just simple switching between different settings. And if you pick a setting and you go to this lock slider and you slide it closed, then it writes it to disk and turns it gray so that you can't change it. So locking something is going to write it to disk. Okay. And then unlocking allows you to play with it, and it's not going to be saved if you've unlocked it. That way you can screw the settings and know that if you turn it off or switch to something else, it's not going to end up saved that way. Right. The other thing, which may be a source of confusion for people, is I mentioned that we have a way to control polyphony, or instead of just allowing you to hear every note that's down, it's selected between this first setting here, which is like a solo mode on a piano. There's a yellow slider, like solo mode on piano, where you got one note at a time, and then you have more of a guitar mode here, which is one note per string, which allows you to do hammer-ons because it remembers the order in which you played notes down. So you can do trills and hammer-ons and whatnot per string, which is basically the same thing that's going on with this lower setting, except that's for the whole instrument, so that if you do trills across strings, then you don't have to be Bruce Lee to get the timing right. Okay. And of course, full polyphony, that's what Mugician has had for a long time. And one of the comments about not being able to do the big chords and whatnot, okay, you slide it all the way up. Okay, that's how you do that. Of course, the comments about sound, I can't say that I completely disagree, because since going to full stereo per finger, I've been faced with all kinds of performance trade-offs, and I've been experimenting with new kinds of reverb, but I don't think I'm really ready to switch over to the new one. I think I'm going to switch back to the old reverb. Well, it's more of an echo. That's a lot more efficient than what I'm trying to do. Okay, and the other things are pretty much the same, except I'm gonna repurpose these FM sliders because they don't serve a whole lot of purpose for people, because they've only got a few settings that sound right, and you can use them for like a keyboard tremolo, but that's about the only thing I've ever used them for. It's the only thing other people use them for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose these to be kind of an adjunct to distortion, like FM-based distortion rather than arctangent-based distortion. And I'll let you hear the difference. Getting back to the wilder sound that it used to have, because I'm presuming that that's what people hate. So it's a little more like 1.5, but I still try to make progress. Okay, so the normal sine wave sound, that's still there. And of course you've got the octave harmonic slider, the purple's octaves, and this one's fifth. a new kind of distortion, different from what I had before. That's the distortion that you already know. But this is FM distortion now. There's a new take on fretlessness, where if you slide the slider down below the quarter mark, the frets will turn green. It's not exactly fretless. It's snap to first note unless it's closer to being a quarter tone note. Okay, I know that what's on the store doesn't sound like that. Mainly the reverb was tamed down a bit. Apparently it was too tame, and the FM sliders are being repurposed, and I think there may be a misunderstanding when the adjustable polyphony was added. Maybe what some people were doing was go to a preset where it's doing single note at a time. Well, maybe that was part of it. You expect them to hit a chord and something else happens and it freaks you out. Say Mugician is broke. I have to say I didn't have the sound vetted with any of the luminaries that I worked with. Jordan Rudis has given me lots of feedback as a friend and somebody who's interested in the vision for what I'm doing with it, even if I'm a little weak on execution. Sometimes he's got great feedback for me. I didn't go through him before I put this out to check the sound. I didn't go through Leon Gruenbaum, who I've given early builds to as well. Those guys got great ears because they're professionals, but I didn't go through them before I put the sound up, so it's all on me. I'm just doing experiments right now. It's a free instrument. When I've learned enough to make something that can kick ass and take over the whole store, that's when I'm going to put something out. Because the way that the store works, if you put something out and you fall down, you won't really ever come back up. You pretty much have to put out a new instrument, just the way that they designed the whole store. Alright, hopefully we'll get an update out pretty soon. This one went really fast. It was like 24 hours. But I want to get everything a little more right before I put out. I want it to at least fix the problem that everybody